Welcome to Hard Hats and Horizons, the podcast where we dig deep into the construction and economic development shaping the future of Dallas-Fort Worth. We bring you insights from industry leaders and visionaries who are driving growth in North Texas. From construction projects to industry trends and insights, we cover it all. So grab your hard hat and join us as we explore the people and projects shaping the skyline of DFW. Now, here is your host, Andrea Pender.
Well, we are going to get started today with the Hard Hats and Horizons podcast. I am super excited to have Carolina Marquez on the podcast today. She is the Senior Business Development Manager at Braun Intertec. And gosh, I don't remember. It's been several years ago since we've met, maybe 5-ish years ago. And I really clued in and I was like, this lady's going to do some really cool things. So I wanted to keep my eye on you and see all the things that you're doing. And I know you kind of have an interesting background. So why don't you talk to us about how you kind of weaved your way into landing at Braun?
Well, hello, Andrea. Thank you for having me here. Well, it's been a long ride for sure. I am an interior designer. I graduated in Colombia, and then I worked for architecture firms as an intern and then full-time positions drawing and doing some selling design. When I started doing more of the selling, I realized I like this. I think I enjoy very much being there with the client and selling, and more than being behind the scenes doing the drawings. And so then I was recruited by an event planning company that is very recognized in Colombia. They actually did events and designs like pop-up stores or
Oh, neat.
for brands like Carolina Herrera, Bulgari, Jimmy Choo, you name it. So I was very excited. I love fashion. So I thought this will be a very exciting jump to do. So I worked in there. I was an account manager. So I was building relationships with the client. And then in there is where I understood how important it was to create those relationships. Because when I stopped working there, some of my clients came to me saying, we want to work with you, not with the company. Like, what happened? Why are you leaving? And that gave me the opportunity to work remotely for almost 8 months. So I jumped to Turkey and I did a volunteer job in Istanbul, but I had the chance to stay working remotely for that company for the sake of keeping those relationships. So that was a blessing. And then I realized, well, branding, marketing, luxury brands specifically, design, business is what I love. Those are all my passions. So I wanted to explore where I wanted to be or focus on. And I did my MBA. In that school is a fashion school, but the business was focused on luxury brand management.
Oh, that's
So
neat.
that was perfect.
Yeah,
I
that's
said,
interesting.
That's exactly what I'm doing. So that's where I want to go. And as a result of that MBA, I created my own business called Madame Deco, which I was giving consulting services for homes. So I call it home coaching because I certified myself as a coach. And I wanted to do more meaningful design. I started reading and just self-learning about what it's called wellness in the environment. So using the senses, using neurosciences, psychology to create meaningful spaces where you can actually enhance people's lives. I didn't want to follow those beautiful Pinterest ideas. I wanted to give people, this is the color you need if you want to get there. Those are your specific goals in life. Let's get you there. Let's use the space to work towards that.
Nice.
And so that business plan was neat. It actually worked pretty well in Paris, but then I moved to Dallas. So everybody asked me, how did you end up in Dallas? If you're from Colombia and my husband is French, like, why are you here? And so he was transferred from his company to Dallas. I had to start literally from zero. So tell me how to build a consulting business with zero connections. Because all the people that I've known by my 25, or I think I was 27 years old by then, were not necessarily accurate for what I was building because those connections were in Colombia or in France. Nobody in Dallas could help me out building my business. So I think that was one of the biggest challenges I faced in my career, was to build that. And so it just took one person, my neighbor, talked about what I did to somebody, and that somebody called me and I renovated her whole house.
Nice.
And then she herself hired me as well to renovate her. And then I had enough content to post online And then it just started. So, because one of the things that I've seen in Texas is that if you don't have experience locally in Texas, it doesn't matter if you've built the Empire State on your own.
Yes. Yes.
If you don't have experience building in Texas,
Isn't that interesting?
I know.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I came from all these crazy, amazing places.
I promise you, I have a portfolio.
No.
Yeah.
It's no valid. So that gave me the opportunity to show, hey, look, I have experience in Texas soil now.
Why do you think you clued in so quickly and at a young age that relationships are the important thing?
I realized, well, there was this thing about that company that I was working for in the events, that the one person in charge of some of the people in charge were not very liked by the clients.
Okay.
But the fact that we, like me and the other account managers, were taking care of them so much, they wanted to focus on building that connection with us. So we worked in events that took 8 months or a year to produce, from concept to delivery. So we had the chance, every week you will meet with them, you will have the chance to really know what they want, whether if it's a professional project or maybe something more personal. I also did weddings and baptisms and things that were more emotional. So I realized that people were coming back to you, not to the company.
Right.
Okay, I had a referral by someone that I just did their event, and they will say, we want to work with you because they recommended that we work with you, not with the company. Never had a call saying, hey, we are doing these events and I don't care who you are assigning to.
Right.
Like, if they wanted that specific person. And it wasn't always me. Obviously, there were other people that were building their relationships, but that's how I realized.
I think it's an interesting thing in this industry because you have the BD people, but then we all have the phrase seller doer, but it takes a lot of work to make everyone understand, like, well, what is a seller doer? What does that mean? Do I have to do more stuff? And it's like, no, you just need to keep doing a good job. And I mean, we have that here where they may request a project manager or they may request a superintendent or foreman. We will give you the next job if that so-and-so is on that job. And so I think it's just like with life. If you're doing a good job, they're going to hire you. You could be in Paris or you could be in Texas, but they still want you. And so for whatever reason, I feel like that's a hard thing to get in people's heads because they're like, well, no, this is my title. I'm an engineer. And it's like, no, but you're doing such a good job. This is why they want you.
Exactly. And that's basically one of the reasons why I stopped doing that, my own practice, because when social media came and it started working, I put myself on there and it started growing so much that I couldn't keep up with the demand, which you will think it's a good thing. But at the end of the day, I had to delegate and my clients didn't want me to send someone else.
Right.
Like, why aren't you here? Who's that person? I want you to be here taking care of my designs. There wasn't a way for me to grow that business without me being everything.
Right. I have a friend of mine who she left the corporate world and went to esthetician school. And she just completely changed up everything. And I actually asked her last time I was there, what do you want to do? Like, how do you want to grow this? And she's like, well, but people want me. And so like we spent the hour just chatting business stuff on what the next steps would look like because she doesn't want to delegate things out because people want her, So I always think it's interesting, not necessarily the double-edged sword, but sometimes it's a double-edged sword because you're like, well, I only have so many hours in the day, So, but I think that's interesting. So, okay, so you had your own business and then
this is when I was recruited by an local architecture firm because of my social media presence. They've realized that I've grown 0 to, I think at that point I had 15,000 followers.
Holy smoke.
Now it's like, that's nothing. There's people that have billions.
I have like 1,700.
I started with 0. So the first 5, I was so excited about
I'm sure.
And so that was actually being translated into business. So they saw that.
That's cool.
And they realized we need someone that will build out our presence. And that's how I entered into that world. I said, you know what? I love fashion. I love this interior design. But what I really love is doing business and building relationships. So you don't always have to follow your passion. You have to work for something that your lifestyle, your daily, your day to day will align with what you see yourself. Right. Because a lot of times they tell you, hey, just follow your passion and do what you're good at. And then how many singers do you have out there that follow their passion and that they feel miserable because they didn't imagine what the day-to-day entails, right? So that was for me with Madame Deco. That's my passion. I love to do this, but this is not how I see myself in 40 years. Just dealing with contractors and trying to, there's nothing wrong with contractors. Right. I see myself more like building that relationship and selling business rather than having to control the uncontrollable. And so I said yes to that door. I was like, it's happening for a reason. It's flowing so well. And so I started working for them and I absolutely loved that experience. I have many mentors coming from that experience. And then it just started there. I didn't have a lot of opportunities of growth in that company. That's how I started becoming into the industry. And then now at Braun, you're still business development, but you have a pretty cool niche, I feel like, that we have talked about quite a bit with your BD trainings. Right. And it's not like I have given 1,000 BD 101 1-hour presentations, but yours it's very in-depth. It's a big deal. So talk to us a little bit about maybe how you got buy-in for that or how you sold it to the leaders, or I want to know how it even came about. Actually, it came about in the interview. When they were interviewing me for the job, one of them said, so I see that you talk about coaching because I am certified. That's right. So how do you see you can use those coaching skills into like our practice? And I did say that I've seen that there's a pattern of engineers or staff being pushed to do business development. And they see it as a negative thing. There is a very negative connotation with selling something or just being in sales. And also there's a big difference between BD and sales. So I told them, yes, I think I've been building this business development program without you even asking me to do it based on neurosciences. That's cool. Yeah. And talking skills, selling skills, networking skills, like a little package that I think somebody in that field will need to thrive in their business development. So I've created an 8-hour program in which the first part is BD 101. They have 1 hour, 2 hours of content and pretty much all the information of, hey, this is what business development is. This is the difference between BD and sales. And what's most important is for them to understand why we're doing this. Because a lot of their questions were, well, but if you are the BD manager, why am I doing your job? Right. And so my response to that is they don't want to deal with me. Clients want to deal with you because you are amazing at what you're doing. I have no clue about geotech or material testing. Right. So I can be the bridge. I can strategize of who our targets are. We can have a whole pipeline of who our clients or potential clients are. And then once I have that strategy, I will make the connection because they want to talk to you. And let's do a quick rewind. Tell us a little bit, what exactly does Braun Intertec do? Right. So we do geotech and materials testing, also environmental consulting. Been more than 60 years in the business based on Minnesota. Then we started in Texas in 2016, if I'm not wrong. And then we've been expanding since then. So we do special inspections, storm shelter inspections as well. So it's we have our own lab. Nice. Yes. Nice. So I know, like in my experience, I feel like a lot of times people think BD people just golf and go to happy hour. Did you kind of have that with your all the team? Time? So even when I tell them like, what's keeping you away from doing BD? Some of their responses are that like, I don't golf. Like, well, me neither. Yeah. How about that? That's not what BD is about, right? What I want to teach them or show to them is that they are already doing BD by giving a perfect or exceptional customer service. Yes. That's what we want from you. And that's better BD than you and I will ever be able to do. If I give you a connection and that you treat them very badly or your service is very poor, there's nothing I can do to thrive. Right. So it's really first raising awareness of you're already doing a great job. Every email they send is business development. Exactly. And then they're like, oh, okay. I've done that. So I do have a playbook where I show them the BD in a weekly basis. Nice. And so there's a checklist. I love it. How many things of BD have you been doing during your 15 years
Yeah.
in the practice. And then they realize, okay, yeah, I've been doing this.
I've already been doing these things.
They buy in. Like, okay, I got this. It's not something that I have to start doing. I don't have to change my role. I don't have to do things that I don't want to do. It's just being very strategic. And then we have other people that they would like to be out there. They want to do networking things. And then I welcome them. Now, where do you want to do networking? You have to strategize, right? Be in the right place, in the right people, and that's part of the program. So individually, after the 4-hour program, we have the one-on-ones where I sit with each person and they tell me what their insecurities are, like what's stopping them from thriving as BD. And then we go through it. And some of the things is pointing, okay, if this is where you want to network, if this is the type of industry or market that you would like to be at, this is how we can do it. Love it. So it's a very personal as well.
That's nice. I mean, that's huge. I haven't heard of anyone else doing something like that. Like, I have my BD 101 that I give, but it's a 1 hour and we're done. I mean, I obviously follow up with my people and help them out, but I love a plan. I love a checklist. So it has all of my wheels rolling, like, oh, maybe I need to elevate my program over here. So
I had a great time doing this because first I love being a coach. And so I had an opportunity to do all the things that I like in my role.
Love it.
So I have marketing, I have business development, I have coaching, and then I'm part of the construction industry.
Nice.
So that is the jackpot for me, right? So when people ask me, how did you end up like in engineering, being yourself an interior designer, going through fashion and all those things, I'm like, I found the right path where I can do everything that I know I'm good at and that I enjoy on my daily basis. And that's the role that I am working on right now.
I really love to hear. There's so many stories of how people have landed in this industry. None of us went to school for very, very few, like in the BD type of roles. None of us went to school like, I'm going to do business development for an engineering firm. I'm going to do business development for a painting firm. Like, that wasn't on the list at college, but I think it's interesting to hear how people landed in this industry and then they fall in love. Absolutely. And then they just try to pull people in like, oh, you're looking for a job? Come work for me, Exactly. So yeah, I feel like we all just love it. Okay, well, we are going to talk a little bit about mentorship. Talk to us about how that has been a part of your life over your career, your childhood, your adult life, however you want to answer that.
I think the best mentors I've had are those who gave me the key and gave me a map and then, bye, you're on your own.
Okay.
Right? Instead of, because they are telling you, I trust you. I know you've got this.
I like that.
You just need the key and the map and you'll find a way. Because those other mentors or leaders that have tried to micromanage my way haven't been very successful in my life. I think that I've learned more from trying to find a way on my own and then knowing that somebody already trusted me for doing it really gives me no choice than succeeding.
And that's sometimes scary because you're like, well, I have the map and the key, but I wanted you to sit next to me, And so, but then it is that nice thing where it's like, no, you can do this.
Yeah.
You've got this.
Exactly.
So I know we've had a couple situations in the office where it's like, well, I have a question. And then, you're in a meeting or you can't answer it. And then 2 hours later, you're like, hey, I know you walked past my desk 1,000 times, but I was on a call and I couldn't help. Do you still need me? No, I figured it out.
Exactly.
And it's like, awesome. Like, that's, I knew you could,
Exactly.
So yeah, no, that's cool. Do you have anything that was surprising or unique that you've had in your journey so far?
I think being open to unfamiliar doors really surprised me. As we talked about, I could never imagine that I will end up in this industry from this side of the table. But then if I would have not say yes to that door, maybe I would be miserable in the fashion world, because there were so many things in the fashion industry that didn't align with my values, my personality. It's just so many things. I do love fashion and I enjoy my having fun with the outfits and going sometimes to fashion shows and stuff, but I don't have to pursue that. It doesn't have to be my day to day, right? As I was saying, it's one of the passions that I didn't want to pursue.
Right.
So a very big click in my whole career was looking at that other door that seemed very strange and then jumping right in and realizing then this is what I needed.
I really,
Exactly where I have
yeah,
to be.
I really like that analogy because so many times that door is there and people are like, no, no, no,
I don't like that
that's
color.
not for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't like that color. And it's like,
exactly.
my gosh, if you just open it up, it could be the perfect fit.
Absolutely.
Did you attend the Texo fashion show
I did.
last year?
I was so excited about that event. So I
So
was like, this needs to happen every year.
it will. It's going to happen again this
I
year.
love it.
We're already talking about it. So I participated.
I know.
I was one of the
You-
models.
Yeah.
And so, but what was crazy was all the backstage stuff. So there were so many things happening backstage that you don't even realize what happens. And the last outfit change, I sat down and I'm not kidding you, there were 6 people. My poor head was getting pulled in every direction. They're just like, sit down, shut your eyes. And so then like they were touching everything up. They were put fake eyelashes literally in 3 minutes. And I'm
Yeah.
like, how did you just do all of this hair in 6 minutes? And I'm like,
Right.
well, I guess it just takes 7. It takes 7 people.
Absolutely. It's an experience.
Yeah, so you'll have to make sure to come to this
Oh, yeah, I will.
again this year. It should be a good time. Okay, some industry insights. What are you seeing for some industry trends right now in the industry?
I think more than trends, there's something that I've seen. There's a pattern that concerns me a little bit,
Okay.
which is people won't come to you if they feel like there's not a transactional, I would say, value.
I understand.
Yeah, like
completely.
when you are a sub consultant
Mhm.
and then they're like, oh no, I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to waste my time.
Mhm.
There's no reason for us to connect. And
Mhm.
I feel like those people are underestimating the power of creating valuable relationships because first, you don't know where people are sitting tomorrow.
Mhm.
And second, you don't know where they were sitting yesterday.
Yep.
So maybe their role right now doesn't align with your goals
Mhm.
professionally.
Mhm.
But just by listening to those people, building connections,
Mm-hmm.
there's so much valuable information that you can gain from that.
Mhm.
So I always encourage people, go.
Yes.
Just have a conversation. Like, I know it's not a priority, but not because they're not the right title or the right company to connect with, you're going to be missing out.
I know leaving the AEC world and moving to the trade partner side was that was a big shock. I knew that I never really, from being, working with engineering firms, I knew I never actively looked for trade partners or things like that to
Right.
network with. But on the flip side of that, like I met Javier like 15 years ago at a Texo event. And so we would, keep in contact or see each other at networking events and have a nice conversation, knowing that we're not necessarily going to do business. I'm not writing him a contract. He wouldn't be writing us a contract. But then look at what happens 15 years later.
There
Like
you go.
who would know? Who would think that? And I can remember when I made that move, there was an architect who said, "Really, Andrea, paint?" And I'll never forget that, only because I'm thinking, gosh, but my whole network of people that I know, I mean, I would be happy to introduce you, but
Exactly.
now I'm apparently on a different rung. I'm not as cool as I was.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
but I'm so glad that I joined this because I feel like the trade partners it's where it's at. So
Yeah.
I'm encouraging everyone to join the trade partner side now. But it is interesting. And I've been to networking events where it's just a mix and mingle. And unless they are going to get something from you, they don't want to have a conversation. And I'm always curious about how hard they have to work to to make a deal. Because if they had those, not even necessarily warm and fuzzies, but if they had that depth of relationship building, it's like, gosh, maybe they wouldn't have to work as hard.
Exactly.
I think about that a lot.
Yeah. I feel like when you're meeting someone and you are instantly expecting something in return, like a transaction or selling a deal, you're not going to get what you
No.
want. You're going to be disappointed every time.
Right.
So if you are meeting someone, just be open, just listen.
Right.
And if you listen carefully, you're going to earn something.
Something.
Yeah. And even if it's knowledge
Yes.
or maybe a connection with someone else, I mean, just something.
Right. Yeah. At the Ladies in CRE breakfast networking that we just left, I always try to include I call it the something fun question, because I've been at events before where you say who you are, what you do, and then you automatically, oh, well, I don't need to talk to this person. I don't need to talk to that person. And I have found that fun question really opens it up. And I think that was kind of the game changer. And I started adding that in years ago when I started hosting these business meetings, but it was almost like the lights went on. Like we could, at the very least, we could become friends.
Exactly.
Or it's a familiar face that you would see at a networking meeting. And we had some new girls this morning at the meeting, and they were like, I've never seen anything like this before. I really enjoyed it. So
Exactly.
I hope they come back and I hope they get value from it. But, if you can become a person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Forget the business. And that's one of the things I tell when I coach this BD program is when you are breaking the ice, you are very intimidated, like right away talking about the business. So just ask questions about their weekend. Something random. I'm sure you're going to find something that you have in common and you can just talk about. And then whenever people feel like you're interested about them, then is when the relationship starts.
Yeah.
Forget about the business. You're here to have fun, meet people, and do your thing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. No, that's everything that you just said. That's like super spot on.
Need reliable, high-quality service for your commercial project? Choose Carrco, the most trusted contractor in commercial painting and drywall in Dallas-Fort Worth. With over 30 years of experience, Carrco delivers top-tier craftsmanship across Texas. From expert painting to seamless drywall, we handle it all, on time and on budget. Transform your space with the professionals at Carrco. Visit carrcopainting.com today. Carrco, where quality meets reliability.
What are you most passionate about in your job?
Well, right now, I feel like sky is the limit when it comes to creativity. So there are so many ways I can win in my role, and there are so many new strategies that I can use to re-strategize. Right? If this is not working, then let's try this one. And then I try to use my past experience in events, like designing and all the things that I've worked for before. I combine them, and I always find a way. Like this is it allows me to be never repeat or never be doing the same thing. So it's reinventing all the time.
And I like that too, because in our world, so many times people are like, it's either right or it's wrong. But it may work great for 6 months and then
until it doesn't.
Until it doesn't. Yeah, no, that's a good phrase for it. And sometimes you're like, no, but I want it to work just like this, but it's not going to. So I like that you mentioned, kind of let's reinvent the thing, because you have to do that whether you want to or not.
Exactly. I do have a strategy from the beginning of the year, right? And then I try things. Okay, this didn't work. That's surprising. I thought this was really going to work. And then something that I didn't think was going to work just was the boom. So I'm always reinventing and trying to do different things. And I think that's what keeps my job very exciting.
Interesting. It's not boring. It's not the same old, every day. Yeah. What's something that you're struggling with right now? And then how are you tackling it?
Yeah, I think we talked a little bit about people not wanting to connect with you because now you're sitting on a different side of the table. That's one thing. But also, since I came from the architecture world and then jumped into this new arena of the engineering, very specifically geotech engineering and materials testing, I've had to reinvent myself and learn a lot of things about how we do marketing internally and externally. When I was doing mentorship in the architecture world was completely different as now mentoring engineers, just because they have so many different personalities and it's just not the same crowd. So I've had to really reinvent, and I keep reinventing. Every time there's something new is a new challenge. So I still have a lot to learn in the sub consultant side of the industry.
Nice. Moving on to some maybe fun personal stuff. What are some of your hobbies outside of work?
I love dancing. I did that professionally for a long time. But that was one of the passions that I decided not to pursue.
Right. Because then it becomes a job.
Exactly. Yeah. Then I didn't see myself dancing every day, even if I was in pain or I had the flu or something. And when you're a professional dancer, you don't have a choice.
No options.
So that was an easy not for me. I love refurbishment. So I used to have this very fun plan on the weekends, just drive around and see if somebody trashed a piece of furniture. That for me was treasure. And I will just pick it up and do the whole refurbishment. I love that.
Are you still doing that? Or
well, now I have a son, so that's my hobby.
Your hobby?
Yeah, I don't have enough time for that, but I love that. I love the outdoors, traveling. I started golfing with my husband now, so that's a new thing.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Let's see. Do you have a defining moment or a philosophy that you live by?
I live by the philosophy of if you feel like the grass is greener somewhere else, then start watering your own. Like
I like that.
if you're looking at your backyard, at your neighbor's backyard, and it's so green, then start watering yours. Like stop focusing on theirs. Just focus on your thing. And I always say that to people because yes, Paris is more beautiful than Dallas, right? That's something that I get a lot. But then I love Dallas because of this and that and that. Right. So I will always focus on the positive or the value that a city or something is giving me rather than what I don't have. So that's a philosophy for me.
No, I like that. Well, and what is the quote? Comparison is the thief of joy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. Who or what inspires you the most?
What inspires me the most at this moment in my life is that working in the construction industry, specifically for K to 12, gives me the opportunity to see that I am somehow impacting the future. I know I'm working very indirectly with the building of schools where little kids are going to go and then their whole life depends on how we build things.
Yeah.
So I think that inspires me.
I think with all the podcast guests that I've had on, I feel like the projects that we always end up talking about are the schools, the courthouses, the fire stations, the libraries, the places that people actually can go compared to the 72 floor fancy high rise, something that most people are probably not even going to set foot into. So that's interesting. Yeah. Okay. Quick fire round, but we're never going to keep it quick fire. What is the last book that you read?
The High Five Method.
What is it?
The High Five Method.
Oh, okay.
Mel Robbins.
Oh, okay. I don't think I read that. Wait, is this the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
No. This is pretty much when you look at the mirror, high five yourself for anything.
Love it.
It's just
nice.
Self-talk, positive self-talk. Just reinvent the way you look at yourself and how you celebrate your little wins.
Oh, I like that.
It's very interesting.
I like that a lot. What is your favorite quote?
It always seems impossible until it's done. By Mandela. For sure.
That's the truth.
Yeah. I've been in so many situations in life where I'm like, okay, I want to go study abroad. It's impossible. How am I going to get there? And the next thing you see, there
you are.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. What is a skill you would like to learn?
I laugh at this one because I think I thought about it and then I never changed it. But I'd like to wake up one day and be a geotech engineer.
Oh, okay.
I would love to understand the world, how they see it.
Okay.
Just by being an engineer, you know that you are different than most people.
Yeah.
You're less than 0.1% of the population. So I'd love to see the world from that eyes or that brain just for one day.
Just for one day.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. What is the favorite construction project that you have been a part of?
I might be a little biased on this one, but I think the best or the most meaningful construction projects I've done were the ones I did during Madame Deco, just because I knew I was impacting families.
Yeah.
Their whole life. I've had people coming at me. My little kid is really not concentrating. They can't work. They can't play. They can't eat at home. And then we realized, well, maybe there is because there's that overstimulation of things or understimulation of things. And
Interesting.
So I really solved problems that made families thrive.
Right.
So I think
that's really interesting. I mean, I don't think growing up, my parents would have redecorated per those needs. So that's really nice that there's people out there that see the value in all of this. And then there's people that are experts to make it happen.
Yeah. And I started with this whole thing about 8 years ago. And people will look at me weirdly like, Nero, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? It's just interior design. It's just supposed to be beautiful. And now I see big firms, big companies in our industry working towards that goal. Like making sure the use of the senses are there and that we give kids at schools, for instance, like the right environment for learning and the corporate industry as well, having offices where the lighting and everything is not only well done, but done specifically for each individual.
Right. Are you familiar with and I haven't talked about this in a couple of years, like WELL or the Fit Well certifications?
Yes.
Yeah, those, I mean, I just remember little high level bits and pieces from that, but I was like, this is fascinating.
It is.
And every building needs to have it.
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't know what we have to do, but
Yeah.
can we make this happen?
Yeah, it's happening. We have a lot of our firms working towards that goal, and I'm so excited to see that it's actually a topic now.
Is that something that has taken off as well as the LEED certifications?
No,
Yeah.
we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day that would be the ideal world. Like,
Maybe it'll be those kids that had the nice designed place to get their homework done to realize we need this.
Exactly.
Yeah. So maybe it'll just take 20 more years and we'll make it happen.
exactly.
Yeah. Let's see. I know you put on here that you're passionate about human behavior, home wellness, and healthy growth. Is there anything you wanted to touch on any of those topics?
Yeah, I think human behavior is what drove me to understand more about coaching and like why people make the choices they make and why a certain color triggers you more than somebody else.
Mm.
So I'm very passionate about that topic. I read a lot. I have podcasts and audiobooks about this.
Nice.
And this is how I've been using those skills to integrate it in everything I do, really.
At your office at work, do you have it nicely set up in a way to make you more productive?
I think more at home. I work remotely most of the time. So at home, I did my space like designed for me and my husband because that's also his working space when he's at home. So it's a challenge because you're targeting two completely different people. But I think we did a good job on that one. Yeah.
Nice. I think the final question on here is, what is a piece of advice to someone just starting out in the industry?
Get comfortable being uncomfortable, even if it's with networking. You're going to have doors shutting at your face.
Yep.
Just take it in and be proud of that little moment.
Yeah.
High five yourself, as Mel Robbins says, and then take it in. I mean, if you don't learn how to be uncomfortable, probably you're going to stay away from a lot of opportunities.
Yeah. You're not going to grow.
You're not going to grow.
I know anytime in the ladies, I keep pointing this way because the conference room is over there, but anytime like today, I think there were 3 ladies who had never been to a networking event before. And I was just like, good for them. I mean, because that could be so scary, but now they found out that we're all nice and hopefully that will, move them to the next step. So if they never left that scary, uncomfortable zone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think we have covered everything that was on the questionnaire and everything. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
I don't think so.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Good.